Why do you think it is that so many people are interested to find out the gender of their baby? What made you decide to leave it a surprise? I don't know, I guess I think it's become the norm that, you know, people can find out, so they do, and then they think that that makes things easier, because then, you know, all the stuff that you buy with a certain mindset. Why did we decide to keep it a surprise? There's few surprises in adult life. I actually made a whole video about sort of our decision. That's just titled "The Sex of Our Baby." I'll try to put a link if I remember. But yeah, where we talk about that a little, or I talk about that a little bit more, how we sort of came to our decision and everything.
Question phrased?
Where are you? But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just different for everybody. But I think it just makes it easier for people in terms of, you know, decorating and that kind of stuff. Have you?
I think it's an interesting question. I also think sort of the wording is interesting. Again, it talks about gender. Gender, I don't know, Katie's addressed this in the past. We sort of separate sex and gender, but I think gender is going to be up to our kid. In terms of why we don't know the sex of the kid, I think, yeah, you know, surprises are good. Plus, I don't want to get too loaded about it, but like, we're both...
we're not like pink or blue people.
I think a lot of it is just sort of marketing, you know, find out what you get, and then you can buy stuff that fits your sort of preconception of what should be desired. And then I think a lot of it's sort of political and stuff too. Yeah. I mean, whether I have no problem with having a boy that loves pink or a girl that loves blue, and everything else that entails. So I don't know. I think it's all sort of BS.
Well,
I don't
for us.
Yeah.
So that's a work for us.
Disclaimer, of course, you know, everybody's got to make their own decision and approach it their own way.
Yeah.
Did I just like lose friends for you?
It's okay.
I don't want to bend anyone.
I think people know how I feel anyway. Have you bought both little girl and boy outfits, or only gender neutral? Basically, you know, we've just bought pretty much like basic stuff, and for myself anyway, what I tend to like is just stuff that's somewhere in the middle. You know, if we have a girl, like, I'm looking forward to making dresses and stuff. There's, you know, some patterns that I've seen that I would love to do. But yeah, I don't know. I actually sort of dread, you know, once the baby's born and it's determined if it's a boy or a girl, I'm afraid of being like inundated with like really highly gendered stuff. Like if it's a boy, all kinds of sports stuff or whatever, and you know, if it's a girl, like they just don't give you like sports stuff, and I don't know. That's not really how I feel about things. So at this point, it's pretty neutral, and that's probably how we would keep it if we were.
Well, it's going to depend on the kid,
right? Yeah. Until the kid, you know, makes those decisions for themselves.
Yep.
Okay. Could you tell us what you eat and when during the day, including nighttime snacks? How my diet has changed since becoming pregnant. What are my favorite meals and snacks? Yes, it's for me. I'm thinking about doing a video on this actually, sort of like the diet changes that I made when we were trying to conceive and then through the pregnancy. So I'll just really lightly touch on it, but I don't really do nighttime snacks. We usually eat dinner fairly late, maybe like 8 o'clock-ish, 7:30, something like that.
I think we average about 7:30.
And then we usually do have some kind of dessert a little bit later. So I haven't had a problem with like waking up hungry and having to go get a snack or anything. Maybe like once or twice I've done that, but probably just to indulge what I was feeling like. I always eat breakfast. That's one of my things. And I think that I do snack a lot through the course of the day because I think it's healthier to not have your blood sugar do like really big spikes and drops. So I try to keep my blood sugar more steady by eating like pretty healthy snacks like nuts and fruit and stuff like that throughout the course of the day, so I don't feel bad, when my blood sugar goes down. It's sort of my philosophy. But yeah, I think I'll probably talk about this in more depth sometime soon. Okay, so there's a question about the nursery. We just did a tour, finally. It took us 39 and a half weeks to get there, but we do have some semblance of a baby's room.
It's not done.
Yeah. I mean, I think we'll just keep working on it for forever. But yeah, go ahead and check it out. We posted it a couple days ago. How is your cat with little people?
Don't know.
Yeah, so we have 2 cats. One is older, and he does okay. I think that when he's been around toddlers in the past, when they get to be a little bit too intense, he just takes off. I think he's going to make an appearance here. The other cat we just got about 6 months ago, and he's younger, and so far he seems to be a little timid with any guests. So I think that, oh, there he is in his little bed. So this is Jesse, the old man. He's very sweet. He's very, very gentle.
And he likes people.
Yeah.
He's social.
I think he'll be great. Marcos is a little bit more of a rascal. So he's probably going to take a little bit of training. But again, he's gentle. I don't think that, we have any concerns about either of the cats harming the baby or anything. Favorite books again. So we did that, and again, we could probably just give it more thought and maybe do a whole video on favorite books.
Maybe we should throw... do you want to throw any particular titles out there?
No, not right now. Because this is going to be super long. Okay, so a question for me. How do I predict Mike will be when I tell him we're going into labor and during the labor process? So Mike has done a lot of preparing, both with me and sort of on his own. He's done a lot of reading.
Less reading than Katie.
Well, of course, but we've done a lot of work together. We took childbirth classes through the hospital. We took like a workshop from my yoga instructor that was a partner class. So I feel like we're really on the same wavelength, and I think he's going to be great. I think everything he's been so far is like really supportive. One thing he needs to work on is him relaxing. We've focused a lot on, I've worked on my relaxation techniques, and he's, worked on supporting me with those, but I can read when he is feeling tense, and I think that he needs to work on physically relaxing more. I think that would be more helpful. Okay, so same question for you. How do you predict I will be when going into labor and during the labor process?
I think you are 100% as prepared as any modern human being can be. The one thing I worry about is sort of, the unpredictabilities. That's not a word. I don't know. I hope that we're able to sort of adjust when things don't necessarily go the way we want to. Hopefully they won't. Hopefully everything's going to be great. But in case they don't, I just hope that Katie will be willing to sort of, listen to people who are experienced about this and
deviate from our ideals and stuff. Yeah, I'm going to try. So this question, I think I may have answered it a little bit, but how long do I plan to stay with the baby before going back to work? I'm operating under the 3-month goal. So I'd like to be here. I think towards the end of that 3 months, I'd like to work from home. So, but for my current job, so that I can, kind of get some money flow. But yeah, around the 3-month mark is probably when I'll keep part-time office hours to some extent. Here's questions for you. What do you look forward to most about the baby? Well, we answered that in the Dad to Be tag. Have we had any dreams about labor or the baby? So you just have one.
Yeah, I just had a dream about it last night. Was it last night?
Yeah, I think so.
And it went great, super fast. We got to the hospital and it was one push and it was done. Everything was great. So hopefully it'll work out like that.
Yeah, right. I've had a couple, actually not many. I tend not to remember my dreams, so I've only had a few dreams that I've remembered actually the whole pregnancy, but earlier on, when I was just starting to feel the baby kick, I don't remember the dream specifically, but I woke up thinking that indeed, this is before we had the anatomy scan and stuff, so we hadn't had an ultrasound, and I woke up thinking that instead of a human child, that perhaps I was carrying a baby goat, because it felt like little hoofs. Metal! And I just got that in my head for some reason. I don't know if that was actually what the dream was about, but I woke up with that sort of image. Yeah.
We don't think it's a goat.
No.
But if it is, we'll love it.
Yes. Oh, I love goats. And we won't have to cut the grass anymore.
I know, sweet.
I think most of these ones we've answered already, or they're in the dead to be tag.
Questions from Marcos.
Where? How old are you? How do you feel about a little sibling?
He's over 1, and he doesn't think that far ahead.
I think he thinks all the baby toys are for him, and the room and the crib and everything, so I think he's in for sort of a rude awakening.
He sort of lives for the moment.
When he has to share these new toys. Yeah. How do I feel about working as a mother? I don't want to do it, but I think that's our reality. What am I most excited and fearful about as far as the birth goes and being a new parent in general? I'm not afraid of really anything. Personally, I'm not afraid of anything with the birth. I feel really confident, and I think it's going to be awesome. About being a parent, I guess it's just the time thing. It's like how are we going to balance work and money and, being able to give our kids the time that we want, and just those kind of concerns.
All you need is love.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. How did we meet? That's something we haven't talked about. And also, do we plan on breast or bottle feeding? I plan on breastfeeding. Yeah, I'm pretty committed to that. My mom breastfed, and so I always sort of had that in my mind. I think, yeah, that's really one of my priorities, and that's a determining factor in what kind of work schedule I'm going to have, because that's something I really want to prioritize. How did we meet? So I think we talked about this one time before. We did a national service program in the U.S. that was under the AmeriCorps program. We're huge fans. I actually did 2 years in AmeriCorps, but the first one we were together on the same team, like a team-based travel program that did different projects in different areas around the western U.S.
It was called the NCCC, the National Civilian Community Corps. You can find it on the internet. Yeah. It was great. So when your local politician wants to defund AmeriCorps, remember that we're married because of it, and now we're having a kid, and that's only good.
And we also did a lot of really great work. I mean, we had a great time. So we were friends that whole year, and we just worked together. And then towards the very end of the year, we started sort of dating. And then eventually we moved to San Francisco.
Well, I moved to San Francisco.
Yeah, I
followed.
Yeah, that was a good choice. So that's it. I think so. People had posted other questions on different videos, but I have lost those. We've tried to do this so many times. I've printed out the questions, and then it just doesn't happen. So I think that's it for now. Probably gonna have to cut it into at least 2 parts. Sorry it took so long, but thanks for following us.
Yeah,
we've got kind of a lot going on right now.
More questions about music and books and stuff. That's fun.
Yeah.
Not about the kid. That's boring.
So eventually, maybe we'll work on developing some of these ideas into like longer videos. Mike likes being involved. Yeah, he's a good YouTube partner. All right. Thanks, everybody.